I've been following some online art tutorials. This one is from Julie Marriott. I will put the link to her YouTube channel below. It's been really fun applying art to furniture, but I'm also struggling with finding my own style and something called imposter syndrome. I'm gonna need to be wearing this for 3 days in a row. Probably wondering what this has to do with painting furniture. It's a DIY treatment that I'm getting to my face. I just thought I would tell you, so if you don't see me for 10 days, it's because my face got lasered. Bailey's over there listening. If you saw my last video, I painted a big flower on a piece of furniture. I've been trying to teach myself. I've been taking a bunch of online tutorials from various artists. I absolutely love floral art, especially giant flowers. I hired a local artist to paint a mural on the side of our building that faces Highway 101. Wynn's Art on Instagram is the artist that I hired. I will put his Instagram link in the description box. I decided to paint over this dresser with Hey Sailor, mixing in some black for a navy blue. It had been in the shop for a while and it hadn't sold. Although I love the result, I painted over it. Between the flesh and the bone, that old devil found a way in me. DIY paint is highly pigmented. I applied the first coat of Hey Sailor without any black, and then a second coat, mixing in some black for a deep navy. I come up with a canvas that looks pretty good at the end. The problem is I have something now. It's called imposter syndrome. Some of the teachers I follow suggest you get out a ruler and plan out your design before you start to paint. Others say to just eyeball it. I like to use chalk because it's hard for me to see the composition before I start. This way I can erase it. Since I started painting canvases, I was curious about the difference between artist acrylic paint and DIY paint. I started using just acrylic paint to see what that was like. I quickly discovered that it doesn't cover very well, but it's great for blending. So for this dresser, I am using mostly DIY paint, and then at the end I will go in with some artist acrylic for those neon colors and those very precise details. The messy chalk lines are just to guide me to the general area where I want to put my flowers. I erased them after I was done. The tutorial I followed shows how to paint in layers, starting with the darkest colors, working your way up to the lightest ones. Julie explains this process in greater detail, and she has a bunch of tutorials for different flowers. Please check out her link below. Imposter syndrome is a belief that we don't belong, but we all need to learn the basics before we can develop our own style. This is what I tell myself. If you did it all by yourself without anybody teaching you, it would look bad. You're not really an artist, you just are copying somebody. You're an imposter. I do try to find my own inspiration while I'm painting. The leaves are totally out of my head that I made up, and I try and switch up the colors whenever I can. I'll blow back for more hurricanes, then trot down to the bluffs. Watch the bridge boys with their go-go girls interject my genius thoughts. Right here is where I'm adding the artist acrylic fluorescent colors. I absolutely love the way they pop, but what I found is they're hard to cover. It takes several coats. You have to let it dry and add more. So at some point, I decided to mix the fluorescence with White Swan to see if it would cover better. It's coming up somewhere in this video, but I'm not sure where. Here I'm using Monet's Garden for the leaves and then some fluorescent artist paint for the detail. And Levi and Bailey wanted to be in this video and say hello. I love you too. I love you too. Levi, what about you? What about you guys? I'm still learning. If you have a dream that you want to go after, there's a voice telling you that you're an imposter. Don't listen to it. With anything new that I've ever tried to do, there's always anxiety in the beginning. It's the fear of the unknown or believing things that aren't true, like, oh, I'm not cut out for this. With anything worthwhile, you have to push past that fear. And I think you'll be surprised that you can do so much more than you think you can. Here I'm using this squeegee tool by Iron Orchid Design and my fingers to get different textures on the flowers. This is sort of off script. I just wanted to create something that didn't look like brush strokes. One of these days you're gonna blow my cover. I extended the same pattern of flowers around to one side of the dresser. I often do this when working with transfers or molds. To me, it gives it a more organic feel and it gives the piece movement. It's as if the flowers are growing up and around the piece of furniture, instead of a piece of one-dimensional art like on a canvas. Sometimes I swear you're still... This is the part I was telling you about earlier, where the fluorescent paint wouldn't cover very well, so I mixed it with white swan to give it more pigmentation. And now I'm adding the same flowers over again, painting from dark to light, and then adding the darkest color in the middle for the center of the flowers. To realize I'm wrong. If you have a dream or a creative business, video is one of the most powerful ways to share your message. Video Boot Camp starts next month and we have 3 tickets left. I'm putting the link in the description. It's a great way to push out of your comfort zone and do those things that you may not believe you can actually do. One of these days you're gonna over my head, even though I say I'm not. And here I'm using a fluorescent green to add some highlights to the leaves and the stems of the flowers. One of these days you're gonna. Now I'm using a small detailed brush. I'm placing little random dots with queen bee to create the pollen in the flowers. Then I'm going back with some fluorescent yellow that I mixed in with white swan.
I think we may be on the wrong side of Pasadena, and the grass ain't no shade greener, it's just a little detour.
The last thing to do is seal your piece of furniture. This will deepen the color and protect the finish. Keep in mind that once you put the sealer on, you can no longer blend the paint. I am using clear wax as a sealer. As you can see, it really deepens the color and adds a lot of vibrancy. Depending on the unique characteristics of your piece of furniture, the wax will soak in differently and appear uneven. Allow it to dry for 24 hours and then go back and buff it to a beautiful finish. Julie Marriott, Nancy Medina, Angela Anderson, and Shelby Dillon are the artist tutorials that I have been taking. I will put the links to their Instagram pages below. Let me know in the comments if you have taken any tutorials and who your favorite artists are.
As the kids these days would say, so I'm gonna count my blessings like I never dropped out of school.
Thanks for watching, and be sure and subscribe because we have more videos coming, and I will see you in the next video. Am I gonna dance with this on? We don't have any music. Remember last time we did this? It was really bad. This dresser is for sale along with all the products used in this video. To find a retailer near you or to sell DIY paint in your store, click the link below. Thanks for watching.
Pop a bottle, about to make it rain. Let me give you something now to celebrate. Come on. And if you're wondering why I move the way I do,